Hi, my name's Helva and I'm from Canada. I love Jesus with all my heart. I love his word and I love it when conspiracy facts line up with Bible prophecy.
Hi, I'm Julieann from Australia. You'll hear my story, among others, on Awaken to Truth. See you there.
Hello, my name is Christine, and thank you for joining us on Awaken to Truth. I love the Lord and I love His Word. I will be sharing my stories with you as well.
Thank you for joining us again on Awaken to Truth. Tonight, Julieann is going to be sharing with us some sightings of UFOs. This should be interesting. Stay tuned.
Hi, everyone. I just want to tell you something that happened last year. Being able to see in the supernatural, oh, gee, you see the weirdest things. And often I'll comment to my family and they just roll their eyes. They're very good at doing that. And I remember that they too can't see it, only I can see it. And I've been looking in our night sky. We have the great Southern Cross. It's a cross, of course, and it has two pointers, two base stars that point through the cross. And it was used by fishermen and navigation people when Australia was supposedly first discovered in 1770. It was the guiding stars that the first fleet used when they came from England. So it's very, very common, and often they're the brightest stars that you see of a nighttime here. And I was looking at it. My husband and I were sitting out having a coffee on our front porch just after dusk. And I saw the Southern Cross because I always look for it. And I noted that the two pointers at the base one actually saw a portal. It was no way it was a star. Of course, hubby didn't see it. But as I've said before, his gift of discerning of spirits is working out whether it's whiskey or vodka. So that's where he goes. And I was looking at the base star, and it was like about 30 times bigger than any other star, which is very unusual. And then I noticed that as I was watching, different colours were coming out that particular star. And I realised that it's a portal, and they were using the star to disguise it. I've seen these in the ensuing months quite a few times. Anyway, I was just watching it as I do, and I noticed that it opened like an eye, and then it would shut. And I thought, I wonder what's going to come through. I've seen them come through portals before and just vanish. It's like they shoot out a ball of light and it just zings up and down a few times and is gone. And that, of course, is a spaceship. Anyway, I had a friend come up she works in the city. She came up 2-hour drive so we could pray one afternoon. And we prayed for her, and she too sees in the spirit. And as we were walking out the front, it was after dusk, and I was walking her out to her car. We got onto the driveway, and I looked up, and there was the Southern Cross, bright as anything, as usual. And I thought, I wonder if she'll see it. So I said to her, oh, can you see the Southern Cross there? And she turned around, she said, yes, it's beautiful. What the heck is going on with that star? And I said, which one? She said, the bottom pointer, which was the portal star. And I said, what are you seeing? And she said, it's like an eye and it's opening. And I thought, cool, because that's exactly what I was seeing too. And it opened and there were like lines down. They were gold and then a bright white. Kind of looked like teeth, but they were right through. And I thought, I wonder what's coming out of there. I was expecting a mothership because it was quite huge. And so I'm patiently waiting for what's going to come out. And darling Beck, she instantly, the warrior that she is, got up and rebuked it in the name of Jesus. And it went, shut, gone. And I turned around to her and I said, what did you do that for? I wanted to see what was coming out. And she looked at me and her mouth hit the ground and she said, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "I wanted to see what was coming out. I was going to do that, but after." And anyway, she shook her head as she usually does and said, "I'll catch up with you later." Got in the car and drove off. And all that evening, I was very disappointed that I didn't get to see what was coming out of that portal. Anyway, it's not there anymore. It had been discovered and they move it. So I haven't been looking at the stars of a night time. We have a lot of weather manipulation over here, and we are in winter at the moment. And it's usually very cloudy. Wake up and it's a beautiful dawn, and within 10 minutes of the dawn, the contrails are right across the beautiful sky. And then we get the clouds and the wind. Oh, it's not like any winter we've ever had before. Very, very different. And if you don't think weather manipulation is real, wake up. It is. And anyway, last night I had to go out and get my wonderful eyelashes done. And as we were driving home, of course, hubby was driving, and I said to him, "Oh, look, there's another portal." As I looked out the window, there, I noticed this. I couldn't see the stars. I could see the portals quite well because they're very bright. And he actually was stopping as we were turning left at the end of the road, and he goes, "You see a portal everywhere." I said, "Because they are everywhere." And he goes, "Yeah. But they are. They're just, if you've got eyes to see, they're there." And it annoys me because that's all I can see when I see one. Every time I go out, and that's the first thing I look for. Where are the portals? Last night, I saw in a very cloudy sky, there were 5 of them that I could just pick out from my own backyard. So how many others were hidden? And people, they're just getting more and more, and they're staying longer and longer. And if you see stuff coming through, I want to know about it, because I had that clicked off by my friend who, in my opinion, jumped the gun.
Well, I believe that our veil is being lifted. The veil between that dimension and this dimension, because we're coming into the end times. And this is why we're seeing it more and more. Like it says in the Bible, Satan knows his time is short. What is your take on that, Helva?
I've heard people say that the veil is thinning, and CERN probably has a lot to do with it. And CERN isn't the only hydrogen. Can't pronounce that.
Acronyms everywhere.
Hydro collider. Yeah,
Yeah.
Now I can't say it. Yeah, they have at least 7 or 8 of them. That's just the largest one. And
yeah, the one in Switzerland, Switzerland is probably the most well known. The others are not known. And
is that the Hadron Collider thing?
Thank you.
The one where they're trying to create the God particle.
Somebody knows how to say it right. Good job.
It's almost lunch here, so I'm awake.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the veil is thinning, and yeah, people are going to, I think we're going to start to see, well, depending on how much longer we're on this side of eternity, but start to see things that men's hearts will fail them for fear.
Yep, definitely.
It's going to be beyond anything we've ever known. And I was reading that last night in Revelations about people will be screaming to die and won't be able to. Believe that's after they take the mark, when they have their DNA altered. But how horrible is it? Like, wow.
I think that's after we are taken up and God takes his hand of protection off this world, you know? Yeah.
Oh, I certainly hope so. I'm preparing just in case there's not a rapture, but I'm happy to be proven wrong at any point in time.
Yeah,
want out.
I hope so too. I mean, I can see both points of both sides that we might be here for a little bit of it. And that's okay either way for me, but I certainly hope we get out of here before the big stuff happens. Like all those beings that are going to come from under the earth up on, men's hearts failing them for what they're seeing coming up onto the earth.
Yep.
From above and from below. It's going to be scary,
Yeah, it's,
Mm.
and even watching, I think his name is Scott Carpenter. He's a Bigfoot hunter, and he passed away 3 weeks ago.
Oh, I
I
didn't
think
know
maybe
that.
3 or 4 weeks ago. Yeah, had an aneurysm while he was out with his partner having dinner. And he was only in his 50s. And he would put a trail camera on his backpack. And one that I watched recently that he filmed not long before he died, actually you see a portal form, you see the circle come, and you see the Bigfoot appear in it.
Look,
And I thought, yep, get rid of him before he exposes everything.
God.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. And my sympathies to his family. I just hope someone takes up the cause and keeps going for him. But the things I've noticed every time they do a ritual holiday in the draconian things, for me, I have sensed a veil go. I've felt it drop, and I wake up in the middle of the night and I know that it's a ritual night. I try not to focus on that because if I do, I'll just get consumed by it. So I choose not to look. I don't wake up and go, oh no, it's a ritual day. I try not to anyway. But come Halloween last year, which sadly is on around my birthday, typical, it was really bad. I felt something horrible happen. And I believe the realities are bleeding into each other because of it. So that's why we're seeing things that we've never seen before. They're just each leaking in.
Yeah.
But it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
It's going to get much worse.
Yeah, in the satanic world, they're doing a lot of things to bring this forward. It's why they created CERN. It's why they're doing all these things. It's why they're terraforming our weather. These things aren't natural things happening because of cow farts. I'm sorry, it's just not a reality, and it's not even common sense to think that way. I mean, humans fart. Are we going to kill off all the humans too? Sorry.
Round up all the men.
Okay.
That would be fun, actually. I might even be in that. Helga, how does, you being in Canada, how do fires burn on permafrost? I mean, obviously the ground, the trees burn and things, but it's permafrost. How can that be global warming? It doesn't compute. Sorry, I've got a brain and I can think. It doesn't compute. Let's trust the science. It's not, science says it won't happen.
No.
If you go back and actually look at science in reality.
Yeah.
When they say trust the science, they're actually saying believe what we say and don't question it. But if you go back to real science and scientific theory, the whole premise of science is, okay, so we're going to test it. We're going to try to poke holes into it. If we can poke a hole into it, then we haven't come to the right conclusion. Let's let's go back to the drawing board. But this whole trust the science that we've heard for the last 2-3 years, it's all about believe what they say explicitly and don't you dare question it. Scientists can't even question the science anymore if they have an opinion different from what the main narrative that's being pumped out is. So no, if they say trust the science, then you can trust they're lying to you. That's the way I look at it now. It's
exactly.
Me too. Not even the doctors that would normally put in their reports and their papers, And what is it called? I forget what it's called, but it's the documentation where everybody keeps track of everything. They all write their papers and their findings on different things, medications, treatment, things like that. Those doctors were shut down. Anybody that was reporting any side effects of any kind, and we know what we're talking about when we say side effects,
Mhm.
reported any of that, they got shut down. They were even threatened by the hospitals they worked for. If they didn't keep their mouths shut, they would lose their positions. And their practices, a lot of these doctors' practices are attached to the hospital. So, I mean, they lose their careers over this. So they shut up and they comply. And it's just horrible.
Well,
Yeah.
over
could-
here they were
yeah.
getting $35,000 per
For each, they were getting $30,000 for each person they put on what do you call that?
ventilator.
Thank you.
Ventilators,
They
yeah.
put on a ventilator. Yeah. That's sick.
I do have a T-shirt that says, I identify as a conspiracy theorist, and my pronouns are told you so. I love it. I wear it when my youngest child comes to visit, because the comments I continually got from them was, trust the science. And I would go, because it wasn't worth arguing about.
Nope.
And so now I wear that T-shirt.
I like that.
It isn't worth arguing about. Everybody's, to me, the only way to change somebody's opinion now is for the Holy Spirit to get through to thick skulls, deaf ears, blind eyes, and cold hearts.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
That in itself, that should be our prayer. I think that's really, really good.
Well, this has been a great conversation, gone off in many directions. Hopefully, it's been a blessing to you. Thank you for spending the time with us, and we look forward to seeing you again next week.